everybody. Does everybody listen me? Yes?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. It's a pleasure to be today with everybody. It's online. Okay, I'm participate for the last years for this wonderful conference. And well, I'm from Brazil, Porto Alegre, Rio Grande do Sul, and I'm going to present one of the works of a master degree of my student about pedagogic architecture, the development of digital fluency through e-learning. The aim of the research it's to construction a pedagogic architecture that I'm going to explain after for assist teachers and students in the development of the digital fluency through e-learning. In Brazil, households, smartphone types, mobile phones appear in the first position, I think, in all the world as the most used way to access the internet, like 92%, followed by the laptop, notebooks, 29%, and the tablets for 16%. In this way, we understand that the computer is not the main technological resource. Then the portable devices such as tablets, tables, and smartphones have the preference among the population. We are working now in this situation and the pandemic with students and teachers with a lot of cell phones in the schools. And what is e-learning? The e-learning it can occur at any time and place with teacher guidance and use of the mobile device. One of the factors that make the population prefer mobile device in the fact that these devices are small, making their transportation easier, and they have all the technological resource present on computers. Currently, the tablets and smartphones have as many tools and features as a computer, as well as internet access, but they have the advantage of being lighter and easier to carry around. Thus, education can benefit from using online tools and technological resources accessible in the population of mobile devices and not only computers. We understand that with the integration of ACT in education, there were changes, mainly in distance education in relation to communication and interaction. We consider that mobile devices have features that allow teachers and students on distance learning to research new possibilities and use them in teaching and learning as a way to expand communication, interaction, and information sharing. Here in Brazil, we have a lot of students that they don't have a computer at house. This is our situation here in Brazil, and this is the reason that the public universities and we didn't begin the semester. We normally begin in March, and the public university studying ways to begin the semester in this situation because these students, they have smartphone and tablets, but they don't have computers at home. And this is one of the reasons that they are studying how we can begin the classes in this bad situation with only a cell phone. The role of ICTs is to contribute to reduce this pedagogical distance, ensuring forms of communication, interaction between the actors involved in the process of knowledge building in distance education. Thus, the teaching and learning plan and organized by the teacher may reduce the distance between the subjects involved. It's students, monitors, tutors, or professors. The activities carried out in distance education should be planned in order to promote knowledge building, and the use of mobile device may contribute with it. However, it should be clear that using this means alone does not guarantee effective and innovation in learning process. Therefore, we are working about how we can construct a pedagogical architecture in a distance learning discipline subject can enhance the combination of the use of this technology with the pedagogical proposal of the course. For us, this feature, we can show what is a pedagogical architecture. The pedagogical architecture for us is support for 4 elements that make up its structure, namely, the first one is the organizational aspects, the second one is the content, the third is the methodological aspects, and the fourth is the technological aspects. In this sense, the teachers can use these elements of the pedagogical architecture to plan their teaching activities involving M-learning. According to UNESCO, M-learning enables and facilitates communication, interaction, and networking anywhere and anytime. Thus, we understand the importance of the competence of that students and teacher can have greater availability and accessibility in distance learning through mobile device. The pedagogical architecture in our present study was created for undergraduate course for a public university in the state of Rio Grande do Sul, Brazil, in my university, in my course. This way, the pedagogical architecture seeks to contribute to students through the presentation of possibilities of using mobile device as mediators in the teaching and learning process in distance education. We try to minimize the distance between the actors and the educational process, making learning more contextualized. The pedagogical architecture consists in these 4 aspects. The organization aspect is they are related to planning, organization, the time and the space, pedagogical expectations and proposal, objective, actors, target audience, and teaching. The content, of course, is what we are going to teach, are related to teaching material, resource, study activities. The methodological aspects are the forms of communication and interaction and the evaluation procedures. How I can evaluate the process of the construction of the knowledge of our students. And the technological aspects, we choose a virtual learning environment in this aspect and the hypermedia tools. Okay. This slide, it's about what we understand that competence, what we want to teach and to construct in our study. We want to construct the competency of the digital fluency focus in M-learning, that we understand what is a competency. I know that in US, sometimes we mix skills and competence, but here in Brazil, we understand that the competencies are formed by a set of composite of knowledge, skills, and attitudes, which make for us the acronyms CHA. And we use Perrenot. Perrenot is our one of the authors that we use in our studies, that he defines the technology as the subject knowledge that is related to the contents that will be addressed by the teacher. The skills are considered as the subject's actions using this knowledge, and according to Moreto, that's another author that we use, they are related to practical activities, such as knowing how to carry out an action. And the last one is the attitudes, that we understand that the mental model of the subject, his values and beliefs, that the competency elements must help to solve a new problem or a new situation in different time and context. In this case, new situation may be linked to the digital fluency competence for learning to overcome challenges with the use of mobile device. The digital fluency competence for this distance learning is seen in this work as the use of technology related to the creation and development of education material, such as application, and also the development of activities. In addition, subjects may improve them through their life and as the needs arise as ICT progresses. In this context, we consider it important to develop a specific competence focused on the use of mobile device. That is why we propose in this study the competence of digital fluency focus in learning. We understood as the use of mobile device with emphasis of the creation of didactic pedagogical materials. The identification of knowledge, skills, and attitudes assists in the development of the digital fluency competence focusing on learning in distance education. In this table, we show the knowledge, skills, and attitudes that we elaborate for this discipline that was 100% distance with no in-person class, and composed by the student from undergraduate course in different areas. What was the methodology? We work in a quality case study approach. The case study made the implementation of this pedagogical architecture to distance education possible, with the aim to assist the development of this digital fluency through use mobile on a specific application. We have an audience of 30 undergraduate students of different scores. They are from mathematics, education, statistics, geography, different courses from a Brazilian public university, and the age between 19 and 40 years old. The data was performed, of course, the last semester of that last year. We call in a semi-presential an elective discipline, because they have in the end a test. And we planned 3 proximate meetings and 12 in a distance education. The course was conducted in a distance learning manner with these activities mediated through a virtual learning environment that we use in this university that we call RODA. We use a participant observation and a questionnaire with open and closed questions. The data allowed the analysis of the pedagogical architecture according of the following categories. The 4 aspects: the organization, the content, the technological aspect, the methodology aspect, and the strategies that was used at the application of this architecture. Well, I'm going to present the analysis and results of this implementation. After the implementation of this pedagogical architecture, we development of the distance learning disciplines focus in the use of mobile device, and we verified the necessary of the three components of the competence: the knowledge, the abilities, the skills, and the attitudes. And I don't know if you are going to see, but this I think you are not able to see everything, but we organize it in CMAP tools tool, the pedagogical architecture, to explain what we have to do and what we have to construct in the four different aspects in this architecture. I'm going to explain one per one. The first one is the digital fluency competence. The first is the knowledge, know how to use the mobile device and the apps for education purpose, know how to create apps, and improve knowledge about M-learning. The skills are use mobile device and apps, innovate and create using mobile device in the classroom, and the attitudes was to construct the autonomy of the students, reflective, the researcher, the proactive, and the ethical stance. And the next one, I'm going to finish my presentation. The organizational aspects are about the target audience, the graduation of students of this course that I just explained. We work with monitors, tutor, the professor, and the teachers. And the time was 45 hours. And the modality was about distance education. We use a lot of learning objects that we work with them. The concept of usability, how we can use the mobile device, the concept of what is a mobile device, how can I use this device in education, what is M-learning, the types, the challenge, the possibilities, the concepts, and a lot of apps, the examples, how we can create apps. We use Apple Pie in these disciplines, and the concept of these apps and how we can construct these competence. And the last one was about the methodological aspects, how we can do the evaluation of these students, about the participation, the engagement. There was a summative and formative evaluation, meetings, one meeting that was face-to-face, and all the other meetings was about distance education. We use the RODA. The technological aspect was a virtual learning environment. We use the webfolio, the forum, a log book, the library, and the app of the disciplines also. This is a two features about the apps that the app of the disciplines. And we have a lot of apps that the students create in our course. And about the results, we know that the pedagogical architectures building may enable teacher with condition for creation of methods, means, and procedures. A new form or organization arise for the teaching and learning process, giving support to the development of students' knowledge. Methodological and technological aspects do not just determine our techniques, procedures, and computer resources to be planned and implemented in class. But it was presented a discussion about the concepts of pedagogic architecture for the distance education in order to provide opportunities for the development of these digital fluency competence of learning, because we motivate the students to create their own apps in our course. It was necessary to work with a plan and to implement this pedagogic architecture to assist the teachers and the future teachers and the students to develop this competence. And the elaboration of these architectures become very relevant to guide and encourage teachers who to wish to perform activities with mobile resource in distance learning resource. The conclusion, it is clear that development of the digital fluency competence focus on learning is very relevant for us, considering among the future of mobile device, one of the most used that are apps. And application can help in the organization and availability of materials according to easy of navigation, expanding the ways to access contents, activities, and information on the disciplines through the use of mobile device. This is our difference, and I think I conclude our presentation. Was one of my students. It's the master of one part of the master of my students, and I'm here to present for her. Thank you, and I open for questions.
Great. Well, thanks so much. And we have a couple questions coming in through the chat from Elizabeth Barber. The first is, have your students had to switch to mobile technologies that use hotspots? So how are students accessing learning through their phones? Are they using a mobile phone plan, or is it Wi-Fi networks? Have you had technology constraints with network access? Like, the question I think pretty much focuses on access to networks and the types of networks they're using, and concerns about data usage and that kind of thing.
Let me see how for students. Well, we have in the university, this is a e-learning course, and they don't have difficulty to access because they have Wi-Fi networks at home. And here in the university, they have free Wi-Fi. And then it's very easy to them. But in this course that was last year, now I'm thinking about the new courses, because here in the university, what I talk about the before is we have a lot of students that they don't have computer, and then they have to do all the classes only with the mobile, with about learning with the tablets and smartphones, and the Wi-Fi are free here in the university and in their homes, of course.
Well, that leads into, I think, Elizabeth's next question. She asked two things. The second part is almost an offshoot of this. One is what learning management system are you using? And then the second, which I think relates to this, was how is learning going now that everyone is online? So due to the pandemic, especially with a group that doesn't always have laptops, obviously that's part of what you were trying to address here, but can you talk a little bit about how learning is in Brazil? So one was, she's asked what LMS you're using, and then the second is how the state of the world in learning in Brazil at this time during the pandemic. In the online learning world.
What we are using now with this, I'm using and with my students, We used Apple Pie, and now we are using Weebly, and we use of course also the Google sites to construct apps. And what is the learning going now that everyone is online in Brazil? It's a very big problem now. In the private university, they have to return the second, third day of the pandemic, and the professor have to learn how to use the distance education in 2, 3, 4 days in 1 week. In the public university, it's everything stop, because here in Brazil we have to learn, not me because it's my area, distance education, but we have to learn all the university in 90 days what the professor are going to learn in 1 decade. You understand? And this is so difficult about the public university, because we have a lot of poor people, and we have quotes also, and they don't have anything at home. The only thing that they have are the smartphones. And it's going to be very, very difficult, maybe the next month, to begin the class, only online class, because until maybe September, October, we are not going to return of in-person class. It was going to be impossible. And one of the ways are to use mobile phone and the distance education here in Brazil, of course.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And a couple more comments, as Elizabeth points out, that access to technology and the digital divide is obviously a critical issue, and dealing with learning curves with going to online. And Renee will be our next speaker, points out that this is, just a great point. There's such an urgency to learn everything, and people have days for something that was, as you said, would take years or decades, and now it's everything is done in days and months, and it's, and there's the challenge and the opportunity, right? And part of the interest in online is great for us. One of the downsides probably is that it feels like such a burden to some people right now. And we want people to understand this isn't all that online learning can be. This is the quick way to get something online, and this is not all that there is and all that there can be. And we need to build systems around, how to support the instructor side, as well as how to build the right experiences for the learners, so that it's, that they can all make the most of it, and we can build the kind of experiences that we want, and everyone can play the right role. So on that, it's been great having you. Time to wrap up. Patricia also did do an interview with me, so there'll be more with Patricia on, I believe, on Friday on the program, a pre-recorded bit, and I hope you'll stick around, be in the chat, and be here for the next few days. I'm sorry we couldn't bring you to New York this year, but it's great to see you as always.
Yeah, thank you a lot.